Good morning, gifted crafters. It's crafting time.
Me and my friends are having a great time. It's not face to face, it's all online. We're all in our homes, miles away. Love them like my family, what can I say? My crafting show is on, it's my time for me. Laughter, tips and tricks, this is what I need. We're here to have fun, we're all in the zone. When crafting with friends, you're never alone. Don't call or text me, it's about to begin. I've been patient, time for me to chime in. Comfy clothes on, feeling just fine. I'm busy right now, it's crafting show time. My crafting show is on, it's my time for me. Laughter, tips and tricks, this is what I need. We're here to have fun, we're all in the zone. When crafting with friends, you're never alone. The host came on, they are truly a gem. Here for the show and to chat with my friends. Chat with each other about this and that. We share ideas, wisdom, and other fun facts. My crafting show is on, it's my time for me. Laughter, tips, and tricks, this is what I need. We're here to have fun, we're all in the zone. When crafting with friends, you're never alone.
Live from the Sunshine State in Miami, Florida, here is the Gifted Crafters Morning Show with Nancy.
Let's have a good time. Ooh, time to get our craft on. Ooh, time to have fun. Ooh, time to feel good.
Good morning, gifted crafters, and welcome back to the Gifted Crafters Morning Show. We are here for another week of crafting, and we have a great time today. So if you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Nancy with GiftsHQ, and we host these daily sessions to just talk about all kinds of crafts. We like to do demos, and we do little projects together. So we just kind of sit back, relax, and have a lot of fun. So if that's something that you're into, you're definitely in the right place, and we have an awesome community. So go ahead and go into the chat and say hello. Let us know if you're here for the first time, because we'd like to kind of welcome you in. We've got a bunch of people out there from all over the place that do a fantastic job. Let's see who we have out here today. So we've got San Antonio, Texas tuning in. We've got North Central Texas. I see Maryland out there. We've got Dover, Pennsylvania. Good morning. I see everyone from Alabama. Good morning. Got nice weather in Philly. Awesome. Good morning to you. Hey, Roz from Australia. Thank you for tuning in. We also have Central Illinois. Good morning to you. And of course, we've got our friends from Canada. Good morning to you as well. All righty. Yes. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So like I said, we've got people tuning in from all over the place, and we just are an awesome community. We like to help each other out. If you get stuck on something, or maybe you just, have a question, or maybe you want to share some tips. If maybe you have a craft show coming up, or maybe you have an Etsy shop, this is the perfect place to kind of gather up all of those items and see if we can help you out and spark up some new ideas, because we do a lot of that as well. Alrighty, yes, Louisiana. We've got Lake Ridge, Virginia, North Carolina. Good morning, good morning. Alrighty, so we've got a jammed-packed day today. I've got a lot to show you guys, and I'm going to hope that I can get through it all within the hour. Just first, little recap for me over the weekend. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. My weekend was eventful, to say the least. Little update on mom. So mom did have another asthma attack over the weekend. So she is currently in the hospital, but she's in great hands. Feeling much, much better. I think it's the weather that really gets to her. And, the asthma was kind of kicking in. So we had to take her in, and she's feeling much better now. So that happened on Sunday morning. So yeah, it was kind of really crazy. I did get to see my daughter on Saturday. We spent some time with her for a little bit. And I got some sewing done. So yay, I was so happy to get some sewing done. So it was crazy, a little bit of events going on all over the place, but she's feeling better, still there. They're going to keep her, because, she still has some treatments that she's going through for the asthma, but feeling much, much better. And thank you guys for your prayers. I appreciate that. That's really sweet of you guys. So yeah, but she is feeling better. So I told her, you got to hurry up and stop this asthma thing, because, next month we're going to the Sewing and Quilt Expo with her. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Alrighty. Good morning from Texas, Kerrville, Texas. Good morning. Awesome. Okay. So lots going on. So yeah, weekend was super eventful, and lots of things that I have to show you as well. Some stuff that my mom gave me and she wanted me to show you guys. So I've got that duty to do that today. So I will be showing you what she's been up to, because she was adamant about that. Show them this, I made this, and show it to them. So yes, I definitely will be doing that. Okay. Yeah. She's feeling much better. She needed the treatment. We had to bring her in to get the treatment. So, they're doing that. And I think it's like every 4 hours they give her the treatment. So, yeah, she probably didn't get much sleep last night, and neither did I, because I left pretty late, but she's all good now. I'm feeling much better. It's just a matter of time for her body to kind of heal back up again. Okay, so let's see. Before we get into any of our other stuff, let's go ahead and grab our drinks, because we know we like to kind of have that early in the morning. And if you don't have one, I'll pour one for you. So let me pour you a cup here. Just grab a cup of whatever it is that you have in the morning: water, tea, soda, coffee, whatever it is. There's no judgment here. Raise that glass, and let's give a little toast to the morning to start for a fantastic day. So here's to you, everyone. Let me grab a little swivel. Needed that. I have some ice cold water, because it's been pretty stormy over here in Miami, Florida. Yesterday was not too bad, but I've pretty much spent my day indoors, so I didn't really see much of it. But we had a lot of rain lately, and so now it's hopefully now it's going to start clearing up and not get so rainy, because that's what kind of sparks it for my mom. So she's feeling much better. Thank you guys for all the prayers. I really appreciate that. You're sweet of you guys. Okay, so we've got our little drink. I hope you're in your cozy spot, or at least a little spot where you can get nice and comfy. And let's go grab our snacks. We know we've got our virtual food truck. You guys can go ahead and roll that one out. And here it comes. There it is, guys. So you've got all kinds of snacks out there. Anything from bagels, croissants, muffin, coffee and tea is in there as well. We've also got cookies. And of course, for those healthy people out there, we've got the kale and carrots. because they like to make their little shakes, right? So a little bit of everything for everyone, all calorie free, and you guys can enjoy that one. Yeah, small coffee for you, Faker McFake. Awesome. Blueberry bagel, yum. All right, so now that we've got our snacks and everything in place, just a quick overview. I've got some stitching done. Update on the autumn skies. So I'll show you some of that. We're going to continue our spooky and sweet. I'll show you the block of the witch hat. That's pretty much done. We're going to move over to different parts of that same project. And I've got some swag and some crochet stuff to show you. So yeah, full agenda. So let's see, did we miss anything? I guess before we go into all of that and I start opening packages and stuff, let's switch over to our crafting news because I want to get those stories out to you before we start moving things around here. Okay. So for our crafting news, we've got to go over to Scottsdale, Arizona, and I want you to go ahead and mark your calendars for the Quilt Craft and Sewing Festival that is coming to town this Thursday, August 28th, and that's through Saturday, August the 30th. And this is at the West World of Scottsdale in the North Hall. It's a 3-day festival, and it's like stepping into like a crafter's paradise, you know? Let's see. I think Sassy, if I recall, is in Arizona, and I thought I saw her name pass by through here. So this may be something for you, Sassy, there. They've got hundreds of vendors and handmade items, make and takes, workshops, free seminars, demos, and they got a stunning quilt display by the Arizona Quilt Guild. So you'll find everything from fabrics to rulers and long arm quilting tools, embroidery patterns, and so much more. There's going to be an admission of $12 for all 3 days, and here's a fun bonus. You can grab a $2 coupon off their website, quiltcraftsew.com. So if you're into sewing and quilting and you just want to be inspired by maybe some creativity that's out there, this is an event you probably don't want to miss. Alrighty, where's my Virginia people out there? I know we've got a lot of people from Virginia. They are celebrating a big milestone. The Virginia Quilt Museum just turned 30 years old, and they're going to celebrate. So they're going to throw a party with music, cake, ice cream, and of course, quilts. And right now the museum is hosting the special 30th anniversary exhibit featuring 26 quilts inspired by the museum's logo, each created by a different artist or quilting group. And what's extra fun about those quilts is that they are part of an online auction, which is pretty cool. That auction is going to happen until September the 27th. Bids start at about $300, so you can celebrate the museum and maybe take home kind of a little piece of history. So that's pretty cool. Now, the party fun just doesn't stop there. They're also going to be holding a barn raffle quilt with 10 gorgeous wooden and metal barn quilts. And you know, I love my barn quilts. They are painted in classic quilt designs, and the raffle tickets are just $10, and winners will be drawn during Dayton Days on October the 4th. So the museum, now housed in the charming Silver Lake Mill in Dayton, is also showing off a vibrant embroidery exhibit through September the 20th. And their spotlight exhibit on Virginia quilter Becky Cohen is there through September the 6th. So if you love a little bit of history, you know, you're gonna love that as well. They're known for their collection that's grown to up to 14 quilts when they opened in 1995 to more than 300 today. So lots and lots of stuff going on out there, and I hope you guys enjoyed that one. So now let's move over here because I've got so much to show you guys. First off, and we can kind of get this one going. So got a little package in the mail. This is, we had like a series of different meetings with YouTube and things we were participating in. So they sent out a little bit of a swag there. So that's pretty cool. So we went ahead and we got our swag, and I'm just going to share you what they sent us, and I thought that was pretty cool. Just kind of like a thank you for participating type of thing. So it's a little crew neck sweatshirt, and they embroidered the YouTube logo on there. So pretty cool. It's pretty simple. Let me just open it up here so you can see it. And you can see this right here. They have this right in the placement line, and you got the YouTube logo. Of course, you know, because we are crafters, we always wanted, well, how did they do this? Well, let's see what they used, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and turn it around, and you can see they used cutaway stabilizer on here, and they went ahead and embroidered that on here. So that was pretty neat. I mean, they didn't have to do that, so I thought that was pretty cool. Get a little YouTube sweatshirt just for kind of helping them out, and for them having meetings with us, which really helps us out a lot too, to kind of understand and know what it is that they like and what they want us to do. So it was pretty amazing to have a meeting with them, with all kinds of other content creators on there, and you know, it was a lot of fun. So that was pretty cool. So I wanted to kind of show you that. I'm not doing a great job about folding this back, but I will get to it later because I do want to show you some other stuff. So I'm gonna just gradually put this in here like this, and I will come back to it and fix it. I'll actually just take it out of the bag, right? Okay, so that is one thing that I wanted to show you. And we had a couple of Facebook posts, and I don't have it with me right now, but we were working on some Halloween freestanding lace items, and it was a Designs by Juju, and we went ahead and stitched all of that out with different materials. And I know some people are putting them out on Facebook on what they created. So I believe, thank you, Flo, for putting that out there. That was pretty amazing. I loved your use of the different materials that you did as well, and I think it came out fantastic. She did 2 reefs that she put out there. One was on a reef, and then the other one was, you know, doing some other things with like a table runner. So she's kind of laid them out. So that was pretty cool. And Cindy, I think, was the other person who went ahead and did some Halloween stuff too. So really, really nice. You guys did a lot of work on that, and I really love watching and seeing those. It's pretty cool how everyone uses different materials, and everything kind of comes out really cool. So thank you guys for that. I appreciate that. That was a lot of fun. And we've got more stuff, or if you got other stuff that you're working on, it doesn't have to be something that we're doing right now. Anything that you're working on, you want to show it off, go ahead and put it on Facebook, because we love to see that stuff. Okay, so it's really awesome to see all of that, but I'm going to show you my mom's stuff because she's not a Facebook person, so she gives it to me to show to you guys. So let's get to that. She put it on a couple of things. So I have, I guess I'll show you the big one first, because it's in, she had me put it in a Macy's bag, right? Because it's pretty large and it's pretty heavy. So I'm going to see what I can do to show you this. It's another bedspread that she's completed. She's been working on this one for a while, and she finally got this done. Let's see if I can move this over here. And it's a pretty simple crochet pattern. Again, she doesn't follow a book or papers or anything like that. This is all through like muscle memory, things that she's been working on, and she's done for like a million times over the years. So I'm going to try to take one piece of this, if I can find the end, and then I will bring it over to our desk cam here so you guys can see that. Now, imagine, guys, this stuff takes a long time to do. It's pretty large. I believe this is a king size, but it's very, very heavy. Gorgeous, because you can put a piece of fabric, and let me see if I can grab something to slide underneath. Let's see if, can you, actually, let me just grab a design board and I'll put it underneath here. So here we go. We'll use this one. Got a design board that I can slide underneath. Don't know if this will do it any justice. No, it's too white. Let me grab something a little darker. let's see. Just something a little darker. Yeah, that'll work. Thanks. Okay, so I'm going to grab this bolt of fabric just to put underneath so you guys can get an idea of what it will look like when, get the pins out of there, what it will look like when it's set. Because the idea is to have your bed sheet underneath and then you put this on top and it helps the color to kind of pop. So it looks better when you can see it really well. There we go. I think that's a little bit better. So you can see the design here. I think I have this upside down though. No, just with one is fine. I'm going to bring this over to the desk cam so you can see this for a little bit. And this is just some red fabric from my stash, guys. Let's see if I can bring this over. Oh gosh, it is so big. It is hard to kind of move around with this thing. So doing the best I can here. Okay. Let's see. I think I had it upside down. Yeah. There we go. Okay, so this is her pattern. She likes to crochet with the lace thread. So it is a very, very thin, it's a 0 weight thread, very, very thin, and a very, very thin crochet hook. So I do not crochet with that size. It's really hard for me to see that. So I don't even know how she does it, but this is the type of threads that she likes to crochet with. So this is what she does. And then this is just a very simple, basic pattern for her. This one is like super easy. So this is what she likes to do. And she was able to finish this up. And so it's just got a very simple pattern, goes all the way across throughout the entire bedspread. And then now she also has something to kind of add on to the edge to kind of drape over. But I forgot to bring it with me. So I'll have to go back to the house. I'm probably going to go later today and I'll go back to the house and see if I can grab that. If not, we'll show it at a later time. But yeah, I mean, this is super simple design. Very, very easy to do. A lot of double and triple crochets here. The stitches are very basic, but they can complete some beautiful work on here. So it's just a matter of doing this. Now, she's not a counter. She's not one, normally when you're crocheting, you are counting your stitches, but she's not a counter. She just does it off of muscle memory. Is she willing to share her pattern? I think she wouldn't mind too. It's just, it's kind of hard because she does it off her head. So I'd have to like just watch her and write down what she's doing. Because she just kind of like, she does it. She's a very visual person. She'll watch and she'll do. But she doesn't count in her head. And then she kind of like, if she goes over, okay, that doesn't look right. And she'll frog it and then keep, go back and fix it. So she's not a book learner. She's not one to follow patterns per se. She just looks at something she likes and then she just does it. And she sits there and she tries to figure it out until she can get it. So she's just, like one of those people that you can hear a tune and then they can play it without seeing the music notes or anything like that. That's kind of how she is with crochet. Because she's been doing it her whole life. So it's... I will try to see if I can do some kind of pattern, but it's going to be tough. But it looks to me lots of triple crochets and double crochets. But, this is something that she wanted to share. Like, she was done with this project, so she was happy she was done. The only thing left to do is on the edges. This is the edge of the bedspread. She wants me to go ahead and attach. They're like little twirly things that she puts on the bottom instead of just the fringe. And so we just kind of sew that to the edge. So there's another piece to this, and then that piece just gets added on just to have that edge piece. But other than that, it is done. And she wanted to kind of just show you that. So I showed it, Mom, if you're watching. It's there. So she does a lot of work on this, and it's, you know, it is a lot of work, and it's really, really heavy, guys. This stuff is super duper heavy. So moving it around is not really easy, and I probably will need to lay this out on the bed just to kind of fold it back up properly. So right now it's just kind of like a hot mess. So this is something that I'll have to do, because I do need to I want to finish it up for her and do the bottom piece and add that bottom fringe to it. Not fringe, but the little twirly things that she made. So I'm going to add that to it. Okay, so now I've made this a hot mess. So I'm going to put this back in the bag, because I do have to lay it out on the bed. She wants me to just kind of measure it one more time, and then I'll fold it back up once I get there. But super heavy, guys. This is it's beautiful. They are very beautiful, but very, very heavy once you get it completed. So what she likes to do is she has several rooms in her house, so she'll lay it out on the bed and then just kind of work on the bed with it because, you know, they're too heavy to do. And this type of project is not like the other one where she had blocks, like granny squares, that she, you know, did a bunch of blocks and then put it together. This one is just kind of like one big thing that she does. So she does, when she works on it in the room as it's laying on the bed, and she just kind of does it that way. That way she doesn't have to move it around so much, because it's too heavy. So if you guys are not sure who my mom is, I do have a video out there, did a little interview with her, and got to kind of show off all of the crochet work that she's done over the years. And it's not all of it, but it is a lot of work of some of the stuff that she's done. So if you want to check that out, if you're interested in the crochet, some really beautiful work out there, so you can watch that video as well. Okay, got this piece out, and I'm going to kind of leave it there, and I will fix it again afterwards. Then she also wanted to show, and let me get this out of the way too. I'll just put it over here because I have to repin it. So let's kind of, yeah, this is like a workout, guys. There's a lot going on here. Okay, so she also has, oh, I would be in that bed napping after a row of crocheting. Oh, Cindy. Yeah, she's kicked me out a few times from that room. So yeah. Then she's also got here, and I'm not sure, she kind of gave me this, and she wanted to make some pillows for that bedspread. I think it's the same pattern. And then she has like this background that she wants to use to put on it. So she gave me some of this fabric to use as the background. And whoa, it's showing like a different color on there. It's kind of like a light green. And so here it is. So I guess I probably could have just showed this. But this is, it's the same thing as the crocheted bedspread, but this is like the pillow version. So it's like a square for her. And so we can take this and then just make it. Let me see if I can push this over here. You can see that over here, and you can see here it's the exact same pattern. So yeah, I mean, just multiple squares, you know, little diagonals going across and everything lined up. And then towards the edges, she's probably going to do something. She likes to add little edges and things like that. So we'll probably work on that one soon. So that is what my mom has been up to. So I wanted to give you guys that update. So we've got that going on. So she is probably going to be starting She's got some finishing touches on this one, but she's probably going to be starting a new project soon. So we've got to keep her busy, right? So I'm sure I'll have to look for something and show her a picture of something, and then she'll replicate it for me. Not sure exactly what that is just yet. I've got a few things in mind, but got a lot of things in that book that I want to show her. But right now we'll give her a little break. She's, you know, not feeling the best right now, but hopefully she'll be out of there soon and back at it again. So that will be great to see. Okay. All my mom's work will become treasured family heirlooms. Yes, they definitely will. That's true, Robin. Okay. I mean, it's just a nice way, you know, to have a memory of the things that you've done, right? So okay, so let's talk about Autumn Skies. This is the table runner. We started on this project. A couple of you guys have also purchased this and are working on this project. So this is a table runner by Riley Blake. And we've got that here. This is what the pattern looks like. It is a table runner that finishes about 28 by 42 inches. And one of the first steps to do is to do all of the woven stars. And I believe there's, I think it was 15 of those. And I have been working on those. And here's a couple more that I have left that were completed. So we've got a few of them here. Now they are a little bit scrappy, but you'll notice in the pattern, one thing that they all do is they all end with the same point on the outline here, right? So we've got those, and then the inner fabrics are kind of all scrappy. So those are pretty cool. Had a lot of fun putting these together. But now that I have all of my stars all sewn up together, I'm kind of ready to start putting this together. So there's other pieces that needed to be cut, like the little cornerstones and the sashing, as well as the outside border that you're going to put on there. So I went ahead and made those cuts, and I've got my little design board here with all of those cuts. And so I've made those cuts, and I started kind of putting this together. And let me, whoops, hold on, I'm losing my sashing here. Okay, let me just put this on the bottom. Okay, so here's everything that I've got on my design board all cut up. These are the borders, and you can see the scrappy borders on the side. You've got your blue, you've got a green, you've got red, and then you have this brown colored here. So all of these on the sides get put together, and then you just kind of just do a row of your cornerstone with your sashing, and then you repeat cornerstone, sashing all the way across. And then you're going to do another row of your woven stars, and you're going to add the sashing to it. So you'll have a strip of sashing, which was something like this. You're going to add that sashing to your cornerstone here, and then you're just going to repeat the pattern, sashing with your woven star, sashing star, going all the way across. And then when you have those rows completed, because you're going to make 1, 2, 3, 4 of the cornerstones with the sashings and 3 of the woven star rows, then you start just putting them all together. And so I went ahead and I started it off, and I started to kind of sew them together. And I do have, if I can put some of this to the side here. Now, I was a little distracted on this project, so I don't think it's my best work, but it's fine. It's just gonna work for me. So I do have here the woven stars and the cornerstones and the sashings all put together. And so I've completed 3 rows of the cornerstones and the sashing, and 2 rows of the woven star. So you haven't started yours yet? Better get on it, Cindy. Need to get on it. And so I've got these 2 put together, but I mean, once you have the stars completed I think that's the biggest piece of this project, because you've got to get all the stars done. Once you have the stars done, all those blocks together, the rest is really not too bad. It's just sashings, cornerstones, and putting that, you know, assembling it together. But, you know, you can see here, I love that it's in scrappy. So we've got all the different colors, and I think it looks great, you know. So now it's just kind of putting all this together, and I've got another row of the stars to do, and then one more row of the cornerstone and sashing, and then I'm going to put the outside border that will go around it. So we'll probably have blue, green, you know, it's kind of scrappy, just like the pattern indicates. So whoop, over here, sorry. So we'll have it like that. So, you know, it's pretty simple. It's just gotta have some time to sit here and finish this up. I can probably finish this up in a day, but then I'll want to add the backing to it, and then I want to put in just go ahead and quilt it, basically. Oh, you brought a ruler and you received it today. Oh, nice. Nice, Flo. Yeah, so I mean, this is the scrappy looking, and I've got a couple more stars to add. So, you know, it's quite a number to do, but then I'll be done with this one, and I'll have something for the fall, which is really nice. You always want to have something a little bit different. And so it'll be a lot of fun to see this completed. So I'm going to keep at this and try to finish assembling this together and doing the border on here. And so we'll have another finished project that I can kind of check off right here. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so let me just put this one away, because that's yet another project. And I think I showed everything I wanted to show, and I think we can finally get to our last project here that we are working on, and that is the spooky and sweet. So let me just scoot this over to the side. And if you haven't been tuning in lately, we are working on Spooky and Sweet. It's a Halloween project that can be either a wall hanging, or it can be a nice little door banner. And so it gives you the option to do either or. And so here is what that looks like. We've got the wall hanging here. We've also got the door banner here. It uses the same blocks. So you put that together. So that's pretty cool. So we've put together the witch hat. And so this is what we have so far. This is the very first kind of block, if you will, that you put together here. And then this, along with all these other pieces here, it will end the beginning of week 1. So what we have left right now, we do have the witch hat. And so we are working on this pattern, which is a free pattern you can download from the Fat Quarter shop. And you can use your own scraps if you don't want to buy the kit, but the kit is available. I have the link below if you wanted to buy the kit that includes all the fabric for this, or you can certainly use your stash as well. So I went ahead and did all the cuts for week 1, which really helps things move around a little faster when you have everything all cut up, which is really nice. And then you can just kind of sit and sew all the pieces. So we are basically at the end of this step here, where we have now assembled our witch hat unit. And so now we're going to kind of move down over to the next section, and it's basically going to be moving into the area of the eyes. Whether you're doing the door banner or the wall hanging, they're all the same. Now we're going to kind of move into that face area. We're going to put the eyes and the mouth, kind of pull that together, and then work our way down into the pumpkin. And then that will be the end of week 1, and I believe week 2 kind of starts off with, let's see, Yeah, week 2 we'll start off with the little squares here that you see. Can flip that over here. So week 1 will end up with this full piece right here, including the pumpkin, and then week 2 will begin with the squares. So we're kind of off on our weeks because we started kind of midweek on this, but that's okay. We'll just kind of keep working along until we get this one finished. Okay. Oh, Flo said you got the Creative Grids 5-inch. Oh, nice. Hopefully I'll get the big one later. I'm terrible at corner to corner, so I hope it will help to have the ruler. It certainly will, Flo. It really will. It was, you know, it's a struggle because things move around when you're trying to draw or cut. You know, rulers can slip on you. So if you don't have a good grip on it, or if it doesn't have that grippiness that comes on the Creative Grids rulers, they have that nice grippy stuff on the bottom so they don't slip around very much. But that's really nice to kind of hold it in place. Other thing that you can do, and definitely we have to thank Celia for that, guys. But one thing you can do, I did purchase this. I haven't tried it out yet, but I did hear about this. I was watching my girlfriend's quilt shop, and they indicated about, they talked about this spray, and I hadn't tried it out, so I am going to try it out. But it's called Grippy Non-Slip Coating, and it's a spray that I do not recommend that you spray in a closed room. Like, I think you'd go outside and just kind of spray it, but this is a spray that you can put on the back of your rulers, and it gives it that non-slippiness, right? So it helps it to stay in place so it doesn't slip on you. I haven't tried this out myself yet. I heard that it was very good, and I thought, well, let me just give it a try and see what happens. So it was something that I purchased. I'll let you guys know if it's good or not. We'll do a little compare and contrast. So more to come on this one. It was just something that I saw, I hadn't used before, and so I went ahead and I gave it a try, and I figured, you know what, let me see if this works. But I have other ways that you can do things to the back of your rulers to make them non-slippy, right? So you've got all kinds of other things that you can do. Oh, Quilting with Harriet says the spray works great. Okay, awesome. Yeah. And I just, because it's a spray, I wouldn't want to do this like here in the room, because the fumes will just kind of go in the air. It'll probably give me a headache, and you don't want to suck in all of that. Good morning. Happy Monday to you, Heather. So that's something that, you know, I'm going to go ahead. I'll test that out. I'll go outside and just grab one of my rulers and spray it and see how well it does. And I'll let you know how it goes on that one too. So more to come on that, but it's nice to know that some of you guys are using that and you seem to like it. So that's great. Okay. You use Grippy all the time, Krista. Okay. Awesome. Alrighty. Oh, Flo says she bought So Yay rulers. They don't slip. Okay. Nice. Okay. I mean, there's different options out there, and, you know, just got to find the right one that's going to work for you. So, all right. So now let's get to Spooky and Sweet, because we're running out of time here, and I wanted to get something in today. And lots of show and tell, but okay. So we are working, like I said, on the eyes. That is the next section here. So I'm going to lay that down. I'm going to move this over here, and it indicates that you need fabrics B, B, M, and L. Those are the ones we're going to be working on. So I'm going to grab those. B, B. Here's M. Oop, M is a larger piece down here, and I'm looking for L. Here we are. So I like to kind of lay my stuff out, and I labeled them with just little Post-it notes. At some point, I'm hoping I can get the little alphabetties, and I'll probably try to use that. But you can totally make your own here with just little Post-its, right? That works for now, and then I kind of just pin it. So, but I think now the alphabetties have alpha clippies, so they kind of clip to your fabric. So that's pretty cool. All right, so let's see. The instructions are telling us to take fabric BB, which we have a few of, so just grab one of them. And I'll pin this back together here so they don't get out of sort. And I'll put that back on. And then we're going to take fabric M. Let's grab that one. And then we have fabric L. Okay. So these are the 3 pieces. So we're going to take M and BB and we're going to line them up this way. So the dark fabric's going to be on your right hand side, and then L is going to be on the bottom after you've sewn these 2 pieces together. So pretty simple, just to make one of those. The entire thing, when you're done sewing, should measure 4.5 by 5.5. Crystal says, do you sew quilt projects for yourself or others? How do you display your quilts in your home? Well, it depends what I'm making. A lot of the stuff I kind of just gift away to kids or to my mom or, you know, neighbors or, you know, just someone who I know will appreciate it and I think will be a cute little gift. So family gets a lot of my stuff. And so I go ahead and do that because I just really do it for fun. I just really like it. A couple things I'll keep for myself. If I want to kind of do something for me, then I'll go ahead and keep it. But you know, I enjoy sewing and quilting things, and you know, just kind of teaching and talking through the actual process. So it's really what I like to do. Sometimes for the stuff that I keep, like if it's holiday related, you know, table runners and whatnot, I like to kind of take them all out during that holiday and kind of display it around my living room, whether it be on my table or, you know, in the living room across the couch, you know, just kind of hanging them. But, you know, there's all kinds of different, it depends what it is that I'm making on where I put it and stuff. But a lot of it I really gift away, which sometimes it's kind of a bummer because then I want to refer back to something like a technique or something, and I've already gifted it, so I don't have it to show. So that's kind of a bummer sometimes, but that's okay. You know, as long as the project gets a good home, we're good with that, right? Okay. Where is the pattern from? So if you're talking about the Spooky and Sweet, Spooky and Sweet was from the Fat Quarter Shop. It is a free pattern. Just go to the Fat Quarter Shop and type in Spooky and Sweet. I do have the link below. If you use the link, I appreciate it, but it's a free pattern that you can get. You just download the pattern, but if you wanted to buy the quilt kit, that's available too. Just use the link and it'll show you the kit itself. They're not very expensive. Some of those quilt kits, I mean, are beautiful, but they are pretty pricey. So I try to keep things really simple and budget friendly. Okay. So I'm going to take my 2 items here, of course. This is the M and BB fabrics, and of course it's going to be right size together, although because they are solids, you know, they're kind of the same. So just lay one on top of the other and just line it up so that your top and your bottom are all lined up together. And then you want to bring that over to your sewing machine and just find where your 1/4 inch is and make sure you have that nice and lined up. And I am using my diagonal seam tape, so I am lining it up right here on that line. So we've got that line here, lining it up. My fabrics are all together, and then really it's about hand placement, guys, right? You want to make sure that your hands are placed in the right positions so that you can hold your fabrics and make sure that it goes all the way through across the needle so that you can get that perfect 1/4 inch. So you've got your fabrics all lined up and in place. You've already laid out your diagonal seam tape to know that this is your 1/4 inch area right here. So this is your center needle, which is where the red is. My needle is kind of lining up with that. And then I've got my 1/4 inch line here on the diagonal seam tape where I am lining it up, and you just kind of lift your presser foot and just kind of adjust there, and then you're ready to go. So now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to find my little foot here, and my stitch length is at 2.5. That's what I am using for this project. So I'm going to go ahead and start stitching nice and slow, holding down the fabric with my hands. When you get towards that edge, you kind of lose this area because you're not able to hold on to it anymore. So make sure that your side is nice and firm. I've got my magnetic seam guide in the back here. That's protecting the back of my fabric to prevent me from shifting to the left or right too. So I'm just going to hold on as long as I can and then kind of let the feed dogs do the work and just let it take the fabric all the way across. And then once it's reached the other side, you can raise up your needle, lift up that presser foot, and then you can see your nice 1/4 inch seam here. Okay, so now it's really important to kind of just bring that over and bring out your little iron, and we need to press this in place because very important that you do not skip that step. Okay, let's see if I can just plug this in real quick here. And I'm just using a small iron. I've got a little ironing pad right here. And I'm going to go ahead and use that. And then if you have a clapper, bring out your clapper, use that to press your seams down so they can stay nice and crisp. So if you're a beginner watching here and you struggle with your 1/4 inch seams, these are a couple things that you may want to look to do. Okay, one of the things you want to do now is set your seam. That's super important. A lot of people tend to kind of skip that step because they don't think it really needs to set the seam. But what you're really doing when you are setting the seam is that the heat is going in there, and when you set it with your clapper, the wood on the clapper is absorbing that steam, leaving you with a nice crisp finish on your project. And that really makes a difference when you're lining it up with the other blocks. It just really helps you. It doesn't have that little bit of a fluffy type of texture. Like, it's very, very crisp, and you know exactly where that seam starts and ends, and it helps you to align with other pieces. So I think that's really important. Okay, so I'm checking here, and it looks like we are just about ready. Yep, just heard the little click there. So I'm going to go ahead and iron my seam. You can set it with your clapper. Just give it a couple seconds, and then you want to go ahead and open that up. Now you'll want to check your pattern to see where you need to set that seam here. And for this particular step, you're going to make sure that this is usually goes towards the darker side, which is exactly what the pattern's telling you to do. So you want this seam to be behind this dark fabric here. So we're going to go ahead and lay it right on top. And I would finger press this, starting in the center here, and then working your way across. So it's really important to do it like that so that you can get it nice and even. And so now that I have that, you can either use your tool here and lay it across like that if you have it. If you don't, you can just lay it across. I like to kind of just give it that nice press here, going across on my clapper, and then I will take it and then I will just lay it down here and go all the way across and give it that nice press. Of course, you always want to make sure that your pieces are pressed before you start to sew them. Okay, so make sure you do that as well. So now that I have that, I'm going to lay my clapper on it on top, let the wood absorb that heat, leaving me with a nice crisp finish. Okay. Let's see, you received that clapper from your Amazon store. Yes, the larger size was a huge help when I was pressing binding yesterday. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I like the larger size because of that. I mean, the smaller size is nice when you have the smaller ones, but at some point you need the larger size, right? So it's, yeah, I like it to lay out the binding. It makes it a lot easier using this tool. Okay, so we've got our piece here and we're ready for our next piece, which is fabric L, which is going to go right underneath here. As you can start to see, this is going to be one of the eyes here that's going to be put together. So let's go ahead and do, again, right sides together. One thing that you'll notice is that now with these two pieces sewn together and you lining this up, this is all going to be one piece here. And so it should measure, I believe it is, let's see, 4.5. Let me just check. What was that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no, it's 5.5 going this way, and it's going to be 4.5 going the other way. Okay, so width-wise, 5.5. So now we'll bring this over to our sewing machine. I'll scoot this over a little bit here. And I like to leave this on the silicone resting plate here. Okay, let me just make sure that my fabric, there we are, nice and in place. And let's see, let's go ahead and bring this over, line this up. And I see a little bit of shifting on here on my fabric, so let me realign there. Let me just check the other side, make sure, there we go. I shouldn't see any of the black coming through. So I'll go ahead and sew this, again, 1/4 inch seam, hand placement, hold on to that fabric so that it doesn't shift around on you. And it's all going the same way. And just let the feed dogs do the work, let it pull the fabric, and just gently guide it all the way through. And there you go. So go ahead and lift that up. And we're going to do the same thing here. We've got our nice seam allowance here. If you guys can see that, it's white on white, so it's a little hard to see, but you can see that seam allowance. And we've got some threads to cut here, but we can do that in just a bit. So I'm going to grab my little ironing board. Yet again, we want to set that seam. So let's go ahead and do that. Give it a little bit of that heat right on that seam line. Use my clapper just to absorb that heat and make it nice and crisp so that when I flip it over, it'll be nice and easy when it makes that turn. So now that we have that in place, I'm going to go ahead and open this up. And I will check to see what direction the seam needs to be going in. And let's see. On here, if I grab the instructions here, it tells you that your seam should be going down. And this is what I'm looking at here, guys. These are the little arrows. See those two little arrows here? That's what's telling you which way the seam allowance needs to go. And so this is pointing, the black little square here is pointing down, and then you've got a little red one going this way. So we want the seam allowance to go down. So let's go ahead and do that and lay this down. And then I'm going to go ahead and lay this on here and go ahead and iron it. And while I do that, let's go over to our inspirational quote of the day, because we are almost out of time here. So I'm going to go ahead and iron this out, and then let's kind of switch over. Awesome. Okay, so for today's inspirational quote of the day is, sewing is where persistence meets purpose and beauty is born. And that's exactly how I feel when I'm sewing. It's really just a matter of being persistent and, you know, having that purpose of what you're doing. So it's really awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up here. I've got my block in place, and I'm going to set that with my clapper, and we've got our next piece all done. So we're just going to continue on doing some of these, and we will be back for some more. And so here is one of the little eyes that we've got all done here, and we will just kind of continue working through this project, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. So stick around and let's continue on this project. Join me again tomorrow, and I think we'll just kind of get through and knock off this project. So Alrighty, guys, we're at the end of our time, and I think it went by really fast. And hopefully tomorrow we'll get a little more sewing in here. I hope you have a fantastic day. Please go ahead and support other YouTubers that are out there, guys. Don't forget, they work really hard with their content. Thank you guys all for tuning in. I really appreciate all of your support, and I hope to be crafting with you soon. Bye, everyone.
So long for now, so long. Glad you stayed a while. Hope you liked my crafting style. Hope I left you with a smile. By now, keep your mind and space clutter-free. Hope your day is bright as can be. So long, my friends, till we craft once again. Bye now, stay crafting. See you tomorrow. So long, my friends, till we craft once again.